Hey everybody, it's your girl Cat with Wandering Soup, and today, I know it's been a while, but today we're going to talk about cruising with Virgin Voyages and the cruise that I just went on with Virgin Voyages. And we're going to answer that question, is Virgin Voyages for you? And then, just to start it out, this is going to be a good video. We're going to talk about why, what, when, where, and if you should go. But let's first start out with some questions. And if you answer yes to these questions, then Virgin Voyages may be for you. And the rest of this video is definitely for you. Do you like great food? I do. Do you like great customer service? I do. Do you like a great room on board? I do. You answer yes to all that? Oh, do you like not having children on board? Oh, I know you do. Then yes, this video is for you. Let's go. First, we're going to get into the embarkation, which is basically getting on board the ship. And just so you know, I cruise with my mama. Don't say nothing about my mama. We won't have no problem. Because, that's my mama. Enough said. But anyway, me and my mom went on this 5-day cruise. Amber couldn't go because she had the kids in school and things like that. So, it just fell on lucky me to do this 5-day cruise, which was a part of a training as well as a vacation offered by Virgin Voyages to me. I'm a travel advisor, travel agency owner, Wandering Travel Tours and all that stuff. And I invited my mom to come along, and she was like, heck yeah. Because my mom has never cruised before. And if I'm being honest, I've never cruised before. Cruising has never interested me for various reasons. I just thought it just wouldn't be what I was looking for, But when I tell you I am a convert, especially with Virgin Voyages. You ready to cruise, mama?
Of course I am. Virgin lady, here I come.
All right. We are cruising today, our first cruise on Virgin Voyages, leaving out of Miami, doing a 5-day cruise. So you get on, you're gonna get there, and once you register, within 45 days before the cruise, the app is going to open up. There's an app you need to download, Virgin Voyages app. And that's when you're going to start scheduling things. And the first thing you're going to schedule is when you're going to get on the ship. There's going to be a time slot. I'm not sure what time it opened, because when I registered for this cruise, it was relatively late, maybe 30 days before the cruise. And the options for times to get on the ship were limited. And so we had a 2:15 slot. You stand in line, it's going to be a queue to get on board, which is understandable, right? Makes sense. And once you get on board, you're going to go through customs. And once you get through customs, you're going to be seated in this, what I call this red, glorious room with everybody else who's going to be boarding the ship. You're going to be assigned a boarding pass. Ours was 9, as you can see here. And once you get on board, you're there. I mean, you're on the ship. Your room is ready. You do the little short gang walk or plank walk, whatever they call it. Gangway. What do they call it, gangway? Anyway, you do a little short walk on board, and you're instantly in the Virgin experience. And then what a wondrous experience it was. Let me tell you.
Because you are now on vacation. That is right. Your cabins are ready. Go grab a drink and explore the lovely ship. Hi, I am doing so good. How are you doing, Girl Scout? Let's go. Welcome.
Thank God, you have the worst floor right there.
Mama, come on. What do you know? Here, you got a party going on.
Hi, Taylor.
Hello. Somebody already eating ice cream. That's the key lime cheesecake. Or key lime pie. Good too. So after we did a little walking around and enjoying some ice cream and walking outside on the decks, just absorbing all of the Virgin Way, we decided to go to our room. And here's where I think, the first one of my tips for you is to, if you're going to do a sea terrace, try to go for the center of the ship. We were in the forward part, or was it the aft? Either way, we were in the back. and it was far. It was a lot of walking. We definitely got our steps in every day, and as you can see, we're walking into the room. It's beautiful. Once you open the door, it's automatically the curtains of the balcony are going to open up, just letting the sunlight in. The room itself is set up as a queen bed. You can split it into 2 twins, which is what we did. And interesting enough, it's like a L formation. So one of the beds is going to be up against, like, there's a table right there, and that's where that bed is going to lay on. Both beds were comfortable. Very, very nice twin set up, so you won't have any problems. I'm a plus size girl. I slept fine. TV on board. There's a lot of movies. There's music, a little bit news. There's mood lighting in the room, which is beautiful. I sat with the tablet and I played with that every day. I was like, let's see what kind of mood am I gonna be in today? And that's what we did. All of the sea terraces come with a balcony. And I think a majority of the cabins on board are sea terraces. So go for it. There are inside cabins. And you're going to have this beautiful balcony with the famous red hammock, which we did get into. Comfortably or uncomfortably, that's up to you. You know, I was just a little bit nervous. Y'all, but we did it, and it was a grand experience. Just overall, because this is an adult-only cruise line, the options for things are just a little bit more. And that is having more balconies and also having that hammock without worrying about a kid getting in the hammock or climbing the hammock and then going overboard. Because kids do weird things because they just don't be thinking because they're children. So after that, we went to the galley to grab some lunch, you know, to blend with that ice cream that we had earlier. The gallery, I like it, or the galley rather, I liken it to a food court in the mall. There's a number of restaurants, except that it is sit-down service. You will go, I recommend you walk through the galley, just take a look at everything that's offered. There's gonna be, the pizza's on a different level, so don't look for the pizza on this level. But there's gonna be ramen, there's hot panini sandwiches or cold, there's a salad bar, there's a sushi section where you can get just a bento box of sushi, there's fruits, there's vegetables, there's sweets, everything you could possibly want. There's a 24-hour diner that serves breakfast. There's hamburgers. So you just take a look around and then have a seat, and then the staff is going to come to your table and take your order. Now, there are menus on board, or on the tables rather, where you can get a QR code and load the menu up on your phone. If not, they will bring you a paper menu. So no worries there if your phone is acting up or you don't even have a cell phone. I would recommend that you have something though, because you do need the Virgin app to pretty much make life a lot easier for you. And if you didn't know, internet is free on board Virgin Cruises. That in itself is a huge bonus. And the internet is good. We had the basic package. I could call my mom on WhatsApp. I'd be like, hey, where are you at on the ship? She'd be like, where are you? I could check my email. I could get on Facebook, IG. Wasn't the fastest, but it was free and I could do it. So that's what we did. And I would recommend that package unless you have to work. Now, if you have to work, there are different tiers that you can go up to. I think you can pay by the day, or you can pay for the whole cruise, and go for that. But I didn't have to work. I didn't want to work. This is what we did. Mushrooms, some sweet potato tacos, some flatbread, some desserts. And Mama is eating up the food, all the food. So I had some french fries and some ramen. Don't judge me, judge your mammy, but not my mammy. Alrighty, y'all, so I've showed you the first day of the cruise and everything that we did to a certain extent. I didn't mention dinner that night, and because we went to Gambay. And there's 50,000 videos out there on eating at Gambay. I'm not gonna do all that for you. I think you can figure that out. But what I wanna do for you for the rest of this video is give you tips on what I think will make this cruise even more of a great experience for you. First thing you wanna do is, once you register for the cruise, you want to download the app. And I believe 45 days prior to cruising, most of the information becomes available to you. Before that, you're gonna have to go through different steps. I think there are 7 steps altogether that basically deal with onboarding you into the cruise. So this is a lot easier once you hit customs. They're gonna take a picture, you're gonna input your credit card information. You can also verify your COVID testing, or if you have the vaccination, and a few other things. Also link who's going to be in your cabin. You can even link it to other people. If you want to do the bar tab, you can do that at that time. Again, with your credit card information, all those things can be done before you get on the ship. So once you get to the ship and you're starting the embarkation process, and you went through customs, at customs they're going to give you this band, right? And at that point they're also verifying all your information, making sure what you enter on the website, the app, and the website, and all that stuff matches, and they're going to give you this band. And then they're also going to give you a card. It's going to have your room number on there, and it's also going to give you information on how to have Wi-Fi on board. I recommend, as you're waiting in the red room, that you go ahead and do those processes and then start reserving restaurants if you haven't done that, which again, you can do that 45 days prior. But like any of the stuff on board that you could not access until that point, and that means like things like the spa, brunch, which you can do at the Wake and Razzle Dazzle, those things have to be reserved beforehand. Also, you'll see the lineup of events, including all of the shows, which you do have to reserve for. That doesn't mean that necessarily you won't be able to get in, but it does, because that ship was packed. We were about 1,800 strong, and the shows were sold out. I mean, and then you're not paying for them. I guess the best word is they were reserved out before we got on board, or by the time I realized that the show was one I wanted to see, and things like that, like Dual Reality, gone. You know, a couple other shows that I wanted to see. So I didn't get a chance this cruise to do all the shows that I wanted to. I did see some, just not every one of them, which is why I also think you need about 3 cruises to really get the full experience on this cruise line. And that's saying a lot, right? But 3 cruises I think is the sweet spot. The first cruise is you just like getting your sea legs. The second cruise, you like, I'm seasoned, baby, I got this. And the third cruise is I've touched everything. And then the fourth cruise, I just want to do it again and again and again and again. And that is definitely what you will want to do on Virgin Voyages. My next tip for you is sign up for the restaurants. Like I mentioned that several times. But pick them, get as early as you can, because later in the evening is when a lot of the shows are. I think there's one show that starts around 6, but that's the exception to the rule. Most of them are like 7, 8, 9 even. So if you want, start dinner at 6 and you can get through and have the rest of the evening to yourself. If you haven't made reservations, or you find that you can't get into one of the restaurants that you want to on the app, then definitely head down to Sailor Services and they will try to get you in as best as possible. You could also try to go to the restaurant itself and see if they'll allow you to get in that evening. But I would recommend going to Sailor Services first. And I would recommend Sailor Services for anything that you want to get into that you can't and it's not showing as available on your app. Just as an option to see if they can get you in. They may be able to, they may not be able to, but they will definitely work and try their best to make sure that your needs are met. Definitely plan for Scarlet Night. Have your red outfit. It's beautiful. It shouldn't even be filmed. There's a lot going on. But you're an adult and you can pick and choose which direction you want to go in. I was with my mom, so I went into the sedate direction, but we had a good time. So those are the first few tips that I would give for you. Next one was, I mentioned this earlier in the video, try for a center or mid cabin, because it just will save on walking. You will walk no matter what, but you will walk more if you're at the front or if you're at the back, because a lot of things, you know, it's just different elevators, different walking routes. It's all over the place a little bit. By the 5th day, which is the end, you actually get a grasp of what's going on, which is again going back to that 3rd trip, right? 3rd cruise. You probably will want to do that, and you probably want to sign up on board because they offer you a sweet deal on that as well. Talked about the internet. Basic package is what I would recommend unless you're going to be working, and then I will go for one of the other tiered levels that may work for you. I've talked to some people who had it and they didn't really notice a difference. So it's going to be up to you and what you're going to be comfortable with. Again, we had the basic free package and we were fine. A lot of people mention that there isn't truly a beverage package or a liquor package on board. It's just called a bar tab. You place $300 down. One of the benefits of Virgin is that if with other cruise lines, everybody has to get the bar package. If in the cabin, Virgin doesn't do that at all. I don't drink, my mother doesn't drink, so we didn't have to worry about that. But had it been someone who did drink, then only one of us would have to buy that package, and the men price is $300. There are plenty of shops on board, so there is another Sailor Loop where you can apply cash to that to purchase things on board, so you don't have to worry about pulling out money from the ATM, or even swiping your card. This band right here is your lifeline, and it has all your information, including your card and processing. So no need for any of that information. No need to have anything extra with you. This will work for everything. We've talked about being on board. Let's talk about a few things off the ship. Getting on board, we recommend that you come in the day prior, unless you live in Miami, or wherever the cruise line is going to be in the future. That's just to avoid any issues that may occur with delayed flights, weather, things of that nature. If you come in the day prior, if there's some issues, you can still get in hopefully that morning. When you get on the app, initially you want to set your embarkation time as early as possible, depending again on your flights and what time you get in. We had a 2:15. We were on board by, I want to say 1:45, maybe 1:30. It was just that quick and easy. Hotels, there are a plethora of hotels near the Miami port. Just pick one that works for you. We chose one that had a free shuttle service to the port because that made sense to me to save some money. And on the way back when we left, we chose a taxi because the Uber point was a little far for my mother to walk. And had I known what I know now, because that was a little pricey, and I ain't used to pricey, I would have walked, I would just carried her big old bag on up to that Uber point and saved myself about $20 because it was a little pricey. I think it was $50 to get to the airport, and I think he took the long route. But we're not gonna say nothing, but we know. I mentioned at the beginning of the video a number of questions that I think you should ask yourself, but I also want to mention that you need to be open on a Virgin Voyages cruise. And by that I mean that there are a lot of people from all walks of life, all age ranges. I think Virgin initially marketed toward possibly 25 to 45 or so, but when I tell you the average age is probably about 45 on my cruise. Quite a few younger, quite a few older, but that middle ground was around 45 to 50 or so. With that being said, quite a few of the staff are LGBTQI friendly, and quite a few of the passengers are LGBTQI friendly as well. So if you have an aversion to that community, this may not be the cruise for you, and that's fine. Matter of fact, don't go. So we want everyone to have a great experience, right? And I think Virgin is definitely doing that. Their staff is dressed a little bit differently. Freedom of expression is there. Tattoos, piercings, hair dye, everything. It's a very open environment. And if that is your type of energy that you are giving and that you want to receive, this is the cruise for you. Go on a Virgin Voyages cruise today. And if you need some help with that, reach out to me. I am Kat with Wandering Soup, info@Wandering Travel Tours for any help reserving your next Virgin Voyages cruise. See you on the next video, y'all. Peace and love.